Welcome back to where we explore the hidden forces that shape human behavior. Today, we're diving deep into something most people fear to understand: the cold mindset. Not the heartless cruelty you see in movies, but the calculated psychological state that separates the powerful from the powerless. What you're about to learn isn't just theory. These are the 7 psychological habits that create minds so unshakable, so emotionally detached, that they become untouchable in a world designed to break you. This isn't about becoming a monster. It's about becoming someone who can't be manipulated, controlled, or broken by the chaos around them. Let's begin. Habit 1. Deliberate discomfort acceptance. The first habit that separates cold minds from weak ones is deliberate discomfort acceptance. While most people run from pain, those with cold mindsets run toward it. They understand a fundamental truth: comfort is the enemy of strength. This isn't about physical pain alone. It's about psychological conditioning. When you deliberately expose yourself to discomfort, whether it's cold showers, difficult conversations, or facing your fears, you're training your brain to handle stress without emotional breakdown. Research shows that controlled stress exposure increases norepinephrine production, which enhances focus and emotional regulation. The cold mindset doesn't avoid discomfort, it weaponizes it. Every uncomfortable situation becomes training for the next challenge. Think about it. When everyone else is panicking under pressure, the person who has conditioned themselves to discomfort remains calm. They've already been there mentally. This is why special forces train in extreme conditions, not just for physical toughness, but for psychological unbreakability. Habit 2. Emotional detachment through observation. The second habit is emotional detachment through observation. Cold minds don't eliminate emotions. They study them like scientists studying lab specimens. They create psychological distance between themselves and their feelings. When anger rises, they observe it. When fear appears, they analyze it. When sadness hits, they examine it. This isn't suppression, it's conscious separation. They become the observer of their own emotional states, rather than the victim of them. This detachment creates incredible power. While others are drowning in their emotions, making impulsive decisions and reactive choices, the cold mind remains analytical. They see emotions as information, not commands. The key is developing what psychologists call metacognition, thinking about thinking. You start asking questions. Why am I feeling this? What is this emotion trying to tell me? How can I use this information strategically? This transforms you from an emotional reactor into an emotional strategist. Habit 3. Strategic silence and minimal reaction. The third habit is strategic silence and minimal reaction. Cold minds understand that silence is not emptiness, it's power concentrated. They know that the person who reacts least controls most. In a world addicted to immediate responses, constant validation, and emotional outbursts, the person who remains silent becomes mysterious, unpredictable, and therefore powerful. Silence creates psychological pressure that forces others to reveal their true intentions. When someone attacks you verbally, the cold response isn't to attack back. It's to remain silent and watch them expose themselves. When someone tries to manipulate you emotionally, you don't take the bait. You observe their tactics and file the information away. This minimal reaction principle extends beyond conversations. It's about not being emotionally available for every crisis, not responding to every provocation, not explaining yourself to people who don't deserve explanations. Your energy becomes scarce, and scarcity creates value. The cold mind knows that reactions are predictable, but non-reactions are terrifying to those who depend on emotional manipulation. Habit 4. Ruthless boundary enforcement. The fourth habit is ruthless boundary enforcement without explanation or apology. Cold minds don't negotiate their boundaries. They enforce them like natural laws. Most people set boundaries and then spend hours explaining why they set them, justifying their decisions, and seeking approval for their choices. The cold mindset does none of this. They set boundaries and enforce them through action, not words. When someone crosses a boundary, there's no drama, no emotional outburst, no lengthy explanation. There's simply consequence. Access is removed, communication stops, the relationship changes. The boundary violator learns through experience, not through lectures. This creates a psychological effect called behavioral conditioning. People learn that crossing your boundaries has immediate, non-negotiable consequences. They stop testing you because they know the result is predictable and unpleasant for them. The cold mind understands that boundaries without enforcement are just suggestions, and suggestions are for people who want to be ignored. Habit 5. Outcome independence and non-attachment. The fifth habit is outcome independence and non-attachment. Cold minds want things, but they don't need things. This psychological distinction creates incredible freedom and power. When you need a specific outcome, whether it's someone's approval, a particular job, or a relationship to work out, you become emotionally invested in ways that make you vulnerable to manipulation. The cold mindset wants the best outcome, but remains psychologically prepared for any outcome. This isn't pessimism, it's strategic emotional positioning. When you're not attached to specific results, you can make clearer decisions, take calculated risks, and walk away from situations that don't serve you. People can sense desperation and need. They can smell emotional attachment from miles away, and they use it against you. But when you genuinely don't need their approval, their acceptance, or their participation in your life, you become unpredictable and therefore powerful. The cold mind operates from abundance, not scarcity. Even when resources are limited, the mindset remains abundant because it's not emotionally dependent on external validation or specific outcomes. Habit 6. Analytical decision-making over emotional impulses. The sixth habit is analytical decision-making over emotional impulses. Cold minds don't make decisions when emotions are high. They collect data, analyze patterns, and choose strategically. Every decision becomes a chess move. They ask, what are the possible outcomes? What are the risks? What information am I missing? What would this look like in 5 years? This analytical approach prevents the emotional mistakes that destroy most people's lives. When someone tries to pressure you into a quick decision, the cold mind automatically becomes suspicious. Urgency is often a manipulation tactic. Real opportunities rarely disappear overnight, and the best decisions are rarely made under emotional pressure. This doesn't mean cold minds are slow to act. They're actually faster because they've already analyzed similar situations before. They have mental frameworks and decision trees that allow them to process information quickly without emotional interference. The key is separating the decision-making process from the emotional experience. Feel the emotions, acknowledge them, then set them aside and analyze the situation objectively. Habit 7. Strategic vulnerability and calculated trust. The seventh and most dangerous habit is strategic vulnerability and calculated trust. This is where the cold mindset becomes truly sophisticated. They understand that complete emotional shutdown makes you predictable, and predictability is weakness. Cold minds use vulnerability as a weapon. They reveal carefully selected weaknesses to create the illusion of openness while keeping their real vulnerabilities hidden. They share calculated personal information to build trust, but never enough to be truly known. This isn't about being fake, it's about being strategic. They understand that people need to feel like they know you to trust you, but they also know that complete transparency is dangerous. So they create controlled intimacy. They trust people with small things first, then gradually increase trust based on evidence, not hope. They don't trust because someone seems nice or says the right things. They trust because someone has consistently demonstrated trustworthiness through actions over time. This calculated approach to relationships creates incredible power because people feel connected to you without you being truly vulnerable to them. You become the person others confide in while keeping your own secrets safe. These 7 habits create psychological armor that's nearly impenetrable. But like all armor, it comes with a price. The cold mindset protects you from manipulation, betrayal, and emotional destruction. But it also separates you from the warmth of genuine human connection. You'll find yourself watching others struggle with problems you've already solved. You'll see through manipulation attempts that destroy other people. You'll remain calm in chaos that breaks minds around you. But you'll also find yourself alone in ways that others can't understand. Not lonely, alone. There's a difference. Loneliness is wanting connection and not having it. Being alone is having the option for connection, but choosing solitude because it's more powerful. The question you must ask yourself is this: in a world designed to break you, is it better to be loved or to be unbreakable? Because the cold mindset will make you unbreakable, but it will also make you something else entirely. Something that watches from the shadows while others dance in the light. Something that understands the game while others are still learning the rules. Something that remains when everything else falls apart. The choice is yours. But remember, once you see the world through cold eyes, you can never unsee it. And once you develop these habits, there's no going back to the warm, vulnerable person you used to be. Some doors, once opened, can never be closed again.